Crypto world, let's get into this. I just did the video, is way too long. Let's do this one more time. 6 month is not closed until the end of the year. Obviously, we're up against this red 6 month. Not ideal, but we've seen XRP pump through a red in 2017 that didn't look right at all. So not every single time frame will probably look perfect when it does go, but most of them will probably look pretty good. So could pump this year as long as we close the 6 month green. Obviously that'd be ideal, but it's also going to determine how the 12 month closes. We want to see this 12 month close like ideally up in like the 70s, guys. Like up here, like 70 would be pretty perfect. Like 74 would be absolutely perfect. You know, anything green on the 12, which will be also when the 6 month closes, so green as well. Wouldn't really want to break 75 unless this thing is just going to send it. But anything under 75, as long as it closes in the 70s, probably pretty perfect. Still, we do have the green 12 right now. You know, wouldn't surprise me to see this go against that red either. It's not like it's a huge problem in my mind. Just given the context of that 6 and how everything looks, it's not the worst. Same with the 5 that's about to close at the end of October. That's looking really, really good, guys. Nice little green real body. The higher the better, but still just really pretty 5 month. Looking really good. If we get this at the end of October, looking really, really, really nice. Really pretty 4 month candle, 5 month candle. 4 month, really, really pretty candle already. That's static, that's there. We've already come down a bit into its real body. Well, you need to be watching like 49, 50, 51. That's a definite area. It already tagged its 20 SMA on the 4 month. The open of that 4 month candle is around 50. So just watch 50, 51. When you look at the 3 month that just closed, it's like this nice little hammer candle. 20 SMAs around 51. You want to be watching that. So honestly, guys, anywhere between 47.5 up to like 51, you just need to be watching it like on the daily and lower time frames. Wait for the setup. Obviously not financial advice, but broke this previous month. I don't really like the wick up here on it, but I can't really complain that much. It's a pretty good looking 3 month candle. Moving averages on our side, everything looking really good as we come into the apex and this tight price action. Coinline, you can notice they already took out the lows, so I think the odds are that we break higher just given the 4 month. 5 month that we should get, hopefully green, but the 3 month, 4 month are already there. Here's the 2 month, not static yet, has a green candle to work with going into the end of October. Could easily send off that, guys. You got the 3, you got the 2, you got the 4. Like they're all showing you we're probably moving higher. Even if this closed red, I know it's inverse hammer, wouldn't surprise me to see it surprise to the upside. We'll find out what we get at the end of October. Here's the monthly. Trying to drop off of a green. It is higher low than the previous candle. I don't like that. I see a gap here that we could easily come down into. I was telling my subs that all month long for like the past 30, 60 days, 30 days. And so that's a monthly. We've already come down quite a bit. You can see how the moving averages are looking to like the 10 and the 8 are looking across the 20 here. Not ideal, guys. We're also at the long-term trend line on the larger symmetrical triangle here. We're literally there at it right now, playing with it. We have our shorter term symmetrical triangle trend line here at 48, 47, 48, 48.5. 3 week, you know, up off of a red, come all the way back down, up off of a red, come back down. It just doesn't look right yet to me. But if we do break that low, and say we come down to like 48 and some change, maybe a little bit lower if we overshoot this trend line, come back up, this could literally send before October 20th at 5 p.m. Like this could literally get back up and just send. You know, it's possible. And if not, if it just like rallies, closes red, then you know, probably some play in here, whether it gets up off that at the end of October, I don't know. Could take into November, but I would expect, you know, it's going to probably take a little more time. If it did pump off that red, then there's a good chance we could expect some volatility coming back down, more play, and then go. Something like this, pumping off of a red, come back down, come back up, come back down, pump, something like that, where you're like pumping off the wrong color, right? Or like this, pump off of a red, come back down, go, something like that. Pump off a red, come back down, go, something like that, right? So just keep that in mind, unless it just drops and then pumps and breaks that high and goes. Like that's another possibility on a 3-week. 2-week right now, not pretty, inverse hammer. The 2 weeks going to close on Sunday, so it's going to be a big tell, not just for XRP, but the broader market as a whole. So I'm watching that. That's going to be a big deal on Sunday. You can see on this shorter time frame symmetrical, and I'm just going to go over to XRP USDT pair, and we're very tight, guys, very tight. You can see how tight we really are here in this symmetrical triangle. Depending on when we break out, it's gonna change my measured move, but it's like 6 and some change up to like maybe 7, and maybe we could overshoot it, but that's a measured move, about $7 depending on when we break up out of this thing. Maybe like 680, something like that. Just call it 7-ish, and I wouldn't be greedy. If I'm up at like 650-ish, like I'm probably taking some profit because it's just a measured move on this smaller symmetrical wall. The bigger symmetrical is more like it's a much higher measured move. It is a move, something like, depending on when we would break out, if it's this year, we're looking at maybe like 30, and we might overshoot that, who knows. But I'm really just focused on, for starters, like, 675 to $7, $650 to $7, and it'll be another conversation once we reach that, and how fast we reach it and all that. It's all, I need to be watching it, see how it's performing real time to make my assumptions at that point. That's where the subscription comes into play, being real time with everything, not just XRP, but the broader markets as a whole. Very important. You're only getting part of the picture here, not the whole puzzle. You're just getting pieces. So, right now we have this inverted hammer. We're not done yet. We still have until Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So let's see how the 2-week closes. Something like this just spells bear trap to me. Like, can you imagine getting up and breaking that high and just blasting off like that? That would be, so I don't know, maybe a long shot, but really you want things to look right, guys. Like, you want a nice green hammer candle like that, or like a setup, to really blast off of it. And this does not scream setup yet, to me. I know we got the green, but we're already coming back down a lot. And I was telling my subs, like, this doesn't even look that good to me. Like, I get that it's green, but it just doesn't look that good to me. It just doesn't. Here's the weekly. It's the same. It was the same thing on the week. I was like, we're getting up off of a red week. Like, what? Like, we could go, but like, it just doesn't look like pretty to me. It just doesn't. And now look at what happened. 3-day actually looked really good on the 3-day. This kind of kept me into the trade after I made the call out for my subs. It was part of the reason I stayed in it. And we did end up breaking out of this symmetrical, but as you see, and the long-term trend line for the $7 move, but as you see, we weren't able to hold above it. We came back down. Pretty ruthless of them to do this right before they made the peel. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder just how criminal things are behind the scenes. Pretty criminal, in my opinion. So, but this is where we're at on the 2-day. Like, obviously not looking great yet. We don't have any kind of reversal candle. We don't really have anything yet at all to assume that we have bottomed or we're about to blast off higher. Not on the 2-day, certainly not. And there's the daily. Had this smaller symmetrical, breakout, fake out, boom. weren't able to hold above like the 62 area I was talking about publicly. Made it up to 666. How about that? Around 666-ish right there. That's something else, isn't it? Something else. And yeah, so that's where we're at. Let me just zoom back out to like the weekly here and just remember that, this bigger symmetrical, the symmetrical I had drawn, we had respected the trend line all throughout here. We broke down, back tested it, broke down from there, pop back up, back tested or tested throughout here, aren't able to get through it, drop, back up to it, test it, aren't able to get through it, drop, back up here. If I pull my trend line over, test it, drop. It's like it doesn't want to get up above it. So I've argued with other people in the crypto space. They had their trend lines drawn. They didn't want to listen to me, but obviously mine is still showing its strength, showing that it is a very legitimate trend line still to this day, to this week. So you can just see, dude, there's so many clowns in this space, guys, that just, you can tell they're uneducated. There's a couple girls that have a lot of following in the crypto world. They do a lot of the wave stuff, and they're just clueless. Like, you need to know the basics of price action. That is where you start your education, your foundation is price action, not waves, not wave theory, Like, that is such a guessing game. Oh, this is ABC. No, this is 1, 2, 3. It's like, dude, they're always changing it. It's ridiculous. Such a guessing game, such a random guessing game. Like, get an education. And the amount of followers they have is it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. This space is wild. So what do we have? We have very tight price action. We have a 4-month that's saying good to go. We have a 5-month that closes at the end of this month. That's looking pretty good. We have a 3-month that just closed that looks really good. The monthly is green, but we're dropping off of it, and I really didn't like it, guys. I didn't like it. I told my subs that I just don't really like this monthly candle. It's a candle where the higher low, get rid of these, you can see it right there. Like, I see this pocket in this area, could break the low, drop, pop, then go. I just saw that as a possibility. I was telling them that, and sure enough, now we're actually kind of getting close to it. And then the 3-week, I was not happy with it. I told them that. Same thing with the 2-week, not really happy with it either. And that's what we have so far. So just not really impressed with the 3-week, the 2-week, even the monthly. But if we did a drop and pop, like if we do get down to 47, 48, I'm way more confident, honestly, in the chart. We need to see it get back up, obviously, right? But then I'm starting to get really, really confident in this thing breaking out, making its move. But like you want to see the right looking candle on like the 3-week, 2-week, weekly time frames, the 3-day, 2-day. Like, you want to start to see things look correct. And like this 3-day, not a bad look, but like the weekly, the 2-week, like the 3-week, the monthly, etc. Just didn't look like that pretty. And 3-day, 2-day, daily, opening up and just dropping, flat top, already trying to push back up. There's no upper wick yet, so that kind of assumed, there during this drop. I actually shorted it off the open, caught this, and then just cleared it because I was like, dude, there's great odds this is going to come back up, just given that it's flat on top, at least temporarily. So, that's what I got. You're not getting the bigger, broader market picture, which you need to get, but I'll just give you a hint that, basically I think if I'm really bullish on XRP, that's all you need to know. It's a matter of how deep I think we're going to come in here before we blast off. They dropped this appeal info on us, and honestly, for the appeal announcement, like, is that really that bad of a drop so far? It's pretty nasty, especially from up here during this potential breakout. But like, that doesn't seem that bad for that announcement. Um, like, not in the big picture, really. Certainly not compared to back here when the case was announced, right? So, look, that was off of a green, come back up. So, very, very bullish overall. It's just like we need the right setup. You know what I mean? And we just don't have. And when I say setup, I mean the candles, like on the 3-week, the 2-week, the weekly, the 3-day, the 2-day, the daily. Like, it needs to look pretty right, like pretty right, with the moving averages and everything in here. And you can see how close we probably are going into like maybe like the end of the year, into like maybe January, somewhere in here, very, very soon. We're very, very close, is what it seems like. That's what it seems like right now. But like I said, I need to see the right candle configuration. Outside of this thing just starting to blast back up, break that, okay, like I'm getting long there and I'm letting it blast off. Something like that happening because you're dropping off the green. But outside of that, like, I need the right candle, right? Like, there's ways I can manage stuff in the moment if things are moving really quick based on my expectations, what I'm seeing in the chart, price action. But besides that, like, I need the right candle. So that's it. That's pretty much where XRP's at. Hopefully we just do it the rest of this week, get down to like 47, 48, and then see a big rally, try and make the 2-week look a little bit better. Could take a few more weeks after that, a few 2-week candles after that. It could take into November or December to look right and then start to fire. But it needs to look right. Majority of the time with anything you're trading, it needs to look right majority of the time. It just has to. It has to look right majority of the time. So, and then like you're missing the bigger picture because I'm not going to go into total 3, total 2, total Bitcoin, etc. Bitcoin dominance, XRP dominance. XRP dominance. Dropping off of a green, okay, it's up against our trend line here. Like, there's other things, like the higher monthlies, like, didn't really look exactly right, up off of red, coming back in. There are some good signs, like I think it's the 4-month, pretty damn bullish looking, guys. So I could see dominance getting back up before the end of the year. It's just like the 3 didn't look right, the 2 like didn't really look right, even the monthly. That's something you could drop and pop off of this month. Like, it is. A little inside green, you could drop, pop, or maybe it takes a little more and then you get back up. So, not against that. XRP BTC, it's the same type of thing. On top of that, long-term trend line, you're coming down into it off of a green. You could easily pump back up, or just take a little more time, then get pumped back up. Certainly. We're obviously in the bottoming phase, or it seems to be like that for XRP BTC. So that's why I'm way more bullish on XRP than I am bearish. I just am. It's just obvious. Seems obvious, right? So XRP, ETH, I don't know. So that's what I got. XAU, XRP. Doesn't look right yet, but we're pumping up off this red. We saw something like this back in, I don't know, maybe not. But still, it's something you could come screaming back down in. And this is just gold XRP, so. But that's it. I don't want to talk about XRP anymore. So watch 51 if we get down there, 50, but mostly 48-ish, guys. Keep your eye on 48-ish if we do get down there. All right, I'll talk to you later.